lived on in the rooms of Ruby's memory, where he held her face in his hands, kissed the back of her neck. Her mind housed a projection room that played a continuous reel of distant scenes, remembered or imagined, that always ended with his father vanishing before it started from the beginning again. "I guess you had lots of time to kill on board that ship." She nodded, the smile lingering along her lips. "Was he as terrible a player as I am?" "I would always beat him," she said. Her eyes were alive, less clouded than usual. "That's why he fell in love with me. He wasn't used to losing." Sebastien had collected shards of information from Ruby's stories over the years to form a picture of his father. The man was charismatic and bold, a young sailor who loved the sea more than any woman. He had the angular features and thick tangle of hair that his ancient Greek ancestors chiseled into stone, traits that were passed on to his son. There were inconsistencies in Ruby's stories. Sometimes he was a gentle lover who adored her. Other times he was an ill-tempered brute who viewed her as disposable. Sebastien was clever enough to know that both versions must have been true. "I was young once," she went on, her eyes clouding over again. "And I was beautiful. He promised to take me to France. I couldn't believe it. A poor girl from Singapore sailing away to Europe with a handsome foreigner. It was like a dream." Sebastien had heard this story before. He used to let his mother indulge herself in the fog of these memories. The older he became, the more he realized the danger of selecting the memories that lived on and those that got buried. Ruby did this ruthlessly, as though choosing which photographs to display and which to hide in boxes. "It was a dream," he said, moving one of his pieces aimlessly forward on the checkerboard. "Excuse me?" "It wasn't real. He was never going to take you to France." "He was going to," she said, but Sebastien couldn't listen to any more. "You've never been to France because he didn't take you there," he interrupted, his tone steady and factual. "He brought you here to this nowhere town instead. He got you pregnant, then he left. He ran away like a coward." Ruby shook her head. The two captured discs were still clutched in her hand. "That's not what happened." "Then tell me what happened. Why did he leave?" Sebastien knew he wasn't likely to get any answers. The questions always upset her, so he had learned to fill in the blanks himself. He hoped one day Ruby would provide an explanation that would redeem his father. Until then, the young foreign sailor who abandoned his mother would remain guilty. This was Sebastien's own private mythology. "Things didn't go according to plan," she said as she wrapped a blanket around her thin frame. "You used to make him sound like some sort of hero. I wanted to be just like him, to sail the world, wake up every day in a different port. But he was no hero, was he? He was selfish and cruel. That's the truth." He paused, drawing a deep breath. "We don't need him anyway. We have each other." He offered her a reassuring smile. "I made some bad choices, but you know what? I don't regret any of them." She placed her hand on his warm cheek. "Those choices gave me you. I will always be proud of that. You should be too." Sebastien set the checkerboard on the floor and pulled his chair closer to Ruby's bed. Her hands were silk gloves filled with bones as he held them. "I am proud," he lied. He leaned forward and kissed her on the forehead. "It's late. You should get some sleep." The last image in the projection room of Ruby Go's mind was of Sebastien and his father. They were roughly the same age, two men brimming with such youth they seemed immortal, sitting side by side, laughing. The thought made her smile before sleep washed over her like the ocean's tide. She never woke up. 2. Surprise. The residents of Petit-Géant didn't care for the world outside the town's borders, despite the welcoming signs in English and French at either end of the main road. The hand-painted porcupines on these signs